If you're new, or even if you have been around a while, welcome and thanks for choosing to do business in Wheat Ridge. This is City Hall, where you'll find the tax office open weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., except for holidays. You'll find the tax division to the left of the lobby. Although it's hoped this webinar will help answer most of the common questions, everyone is welcome to come in for personal assistance. The Wheat Ridge City Hall is on the southwest corner of Wadsworth Boulevard and West 29th Avenue at 7500 West 29th Avenue. For tax information during business hours or to leave a message for a return call, contact us at 303-235-2820. If you need other information, please contact 303-234-5900. You're also invited to visit us online at www.ci.wheatridge.co.us. You'll find a link to the municipal code right on the home page. Everyone doing business in Wheat Ridge is required by Wheat Ridge Code Section 11 to get the combined business and tax license. If your business is located in Wheat Ridge, be it retail, manufacturing, or fabrication, or a service, you must get the license. For businesses outside of Wheat Ridge, a license and tax collection is required if more than one delivery per year is made in the city, or if contracts or jobs are done regularly or for an extended time in the city. Even if none of these things are true, if for some reason the city's sales tax is collected, say for instance a billing program automatically applies the city tax to invoices, then the license is required by Section 22 of the Wheat Ridge Code of Laws. You can search within and read the Wheat Ridge Code of Ordinances online at www.municode.com. The Tax Division administers the general business and tax licensing process. A 2-page application is available online and may be filled out electronically or handwritten. However, it must be turned in on paper. The initial license fee of $20 is collected at the time of application. If the application is not approved, the fee will be refunded. The business and tax license is based on the calendar year, with renewals due by the end of January. Any other licenses that are required by the city must be in process or approved before you apply for the general business and tax license. To quickly navigate to the business license application, type in the web address www.ci.wheatridge.co.us/taxinfo as a single word. Highlight licensing, then business licensing to navigate to the business licensing information page and a link to the application. To maintain public health and safety and neighborhood integrity, the City Code provides that certain businesses must also obtain further licenses and are restricted to given zoning areas. Such businesses are liquor establishments, sexually oriented businesses, adult massage services, medical marijuana establishments, kennels, and pawnbrokers. We'll look at each one briefly. The intent of this course is to help you become familiar with requirements and processes, but because it is broad, the finer details are better addressed by specific materials available on the website or by contacting the city directly. Liquor licenses require an extensive application process. Applicants must meet strict guidelines for personal and financial matters. A proposed location is subject to a mandatory public notice and hearing. Every person with an interest in the license will be thoroughly investigated by the Wheat Ridge Police Department for moral turpitude and certain criminal convictions. A business license for a liquor selling operation may only be issued once the liquor license is in place. Contact the City Clerk's office for more details about licensing. The Tax Division can advise you about the liquor occupation tax. Any business that sells adult-oriented merchandise or entertainment services must obtain the Sexually Oriented Business Special License through the Community Development Department. Detailed information about ownership, proposed activities, and the premises is required with the application. The application fee is $150 and the licensing fee is $500 with a $250 annual renewal based on the calendar year. For sexually oriented businesses, this license is a prerequisite of the general business and tax license. There are no special taxes related to this type of business. In Colorado, someone wishing to provide massage services without having a Colorado massage therapist's license may do so under a massage parlor license. This license is additional to the business and tax license and is administered by the Tax Division. The application requires detailed information about owners, employees, and the location. The application may be submitted at the same time as the general business and tax license application. Once the license is approved, every owner, agent, or employee of the massage parlor must obtain an ID card from the Wheat Ridge Police Department. The license must be prominently displayed at the massage parlor. The Tax Division can provide further information on requirements and restrictions. Medical marijuana businesses are highly regulated in Wheat Ridge. The medical marijuana license application is complex and requires a number of forms that gather substantial information about owners, general managers, finances, and the location. The application may be submitted and processed at the same time as the general business and tax license, which will only be approved and issued when the medical marijuana license is approved by both the city and the state of Colorado. The license is renewable yearly based on the starting date. With the initial application, a comprehensive background investigation is conducted. This involves additional fees for fingerprints and data. Renewal is subject to an abbreviated background update of owners, general managers, and all associated medical marijuana establishments. Keeping more than 3 adult dogs or 4 adult cats in the city requires a kennel license and is permitted in appropriately zoned areas only. Application for the license may be done at the same time as for the general business and tax license. The applicant must present a Colorado State kennel license during the mandatory inspection by code enforcement. Zoning for kennel activities, which include the buying, selling, breeding, training, boarding, or trading of cats or dogs, may be restricted. Activities involving other animals do not require a city kennel license, but may be subject to state licensing. The kennel license costs $35 annually and is renewed between January and March each year after a satisfactory inspection by code enforcement. A pawnbroker must obtain the city's pawnbroker license in addition to the general business and tax license. This license is administered by the police department and is subject to thorough background investigations of owners, officers, and managers before approval of the license. The annual fee is currently $5,000, with a requirement that proof of liability insurance be provided also each year. Contact the Police Community Desk at 303-235-2995 for more information on how to apply. If your business will offer more than 3 pay-to-play amusement devices, including adult amusements and movies, an amusements license is required. 3 or fewer devices need only to register and pay the fee per device. Amusement devices include, but are not limited to, video or electronic games, crane games, foosball, skee-ball, snooker tables, pool tables, pay-per-use movie, video, or music booths, and anything similar except children's rides. Internet kiosks are not deemed to be amusements, so they don't need to be licensed. Additionally, sales tax should be remitted on the take from amusement devices. If possible, add the sales tax to the price when collecting payment from the customer. Otherwise, use the gross receipts method. To calculate the tax using the gross receipts method, multiply the take for the reporting period by 97%, that's 0.97, and subtract this number from the total take. The difference is the tax owed. Report the total take on lines 1 and 4 of the return as gross and net taxable sales. Audits are done randomly with notice on amusements locations or possible amusements locations to check tax and compliance with the licensing laws. To assist in this, a log of counts should be made each time the amusement is cashed out. Someone should also be able to open the machine for inspection of the meter as well. For details about obtaining an amusements license, please contact the City Clerk's office at 303-235-2816. Once you've obtained all the licenses you need for your business, you'll want to learn about taxes in Wheat Ridge. There are 4 general taxes in Wheat Ridge: sales tax, use tax, admissions tax, and lodging tax. 2 other important taxes are the telecommunications occupation tax and the liquor occupation tax. All sales, rentals, and leases of goods and some services are taxable in Wheat Ridge. Short-term rentals of items like vacuum kiosks and internet kiosks are also taxable, as are rentals of storage space and event facilities. The current rate is 3% and is calculated on the total price a customer must pay to receive the goods, the right to use goods or space, or the taxable services. Included in the total price besides the stated price are any additional charges that a customer may not opt out of, such as handling or shop and waste fees and shipping, delivery, or freight, if the goods are to be delivered in Wheat Ridge, and there is no option or reasonable ability for the customer to pick up the goods or hire a third party on their own to do so. A reasonable ability to pick up goods is based on the city's determination should it come into question, so when in doubt, charge the tax. The customer may always seek a refund from the city. Use tax is a compensating tax. If a city sales tax has not been paid on taxable goods and services that are used in Wheat Ridge, then a use tax to make up for that is due to the city. Use tax is meant to reduce the unfairness that would occur if people bought goods free of city tax somewhere, then used them in Wheat Ridge. It's also not a double tax. If you rightly paid another city's sales tax that's the same or more than that of Wheat Ridge, you do not pay it. The big problem is how to know if a city tax was paid or not on any purchase. For items delivered or picked up in Wheat Ridge, it's pretty easy. If the tax on the invoice is less than 7.5% for picked up items or 7% for delivered items, you can tell that use tax is due to the city. If another city's sales tax was paid, only the difference between it and the Wheat Ridge sales tax is due as use tax. However, it can get more complicated with items purchased outside the city. Because of that, the tax division has a more detailed use tax slideshow on the website to help you learn about it. Additionally, you may contact the tax division at 303-235-2820 or come into our office for help with specific questions. If you host events in Wheat Ridge that charge a cover charge or entrance fee, the 4% admissions tax must be charged instead of sales tax. Because it's not always practical to add tax to cover charges or to entrance fees at the gate or door, remitting tax by the gross receipts method is allowed. To do this, the total of cover charges or entrance fees is multiplied by 97%. That amount is subtracted from the total charges for the reporting period to arrive at the tax amount. The taxable amount then to report on the return is the total cover charges or fees minus the tax. Please note that the entry fees charged to participants in races and contests are not subject to admissions tax, but that any fee that might be charged to onlookers is. Please call the Tax Division at 303-235-2820 to ask about specific situations. Instead of a sales tax, a 10% lodging tax must be collected on accommodations that are rented for less than 30 days. Included are hotel, inn or motel rooms, bed and breakfast rooms, camping spaces, and short-term rentals of any house, condo, or apartment. When an accommodation is rented to and occupied by the same person for 30 days or more, it is exempt from lodging tax. The exemption does not apply to corporate rentals that are occupied by different people for less than 30 days each. Federal and Colorado state and subsidiary governments are also exempt from the lodging tax if payment is made in verifiable government funds, such as a credit card or payment voucher. Charitable or religious groups seeking the exemption must first obtain the city exemption license and provide a copy of the letter to the lodging operator, then pay for the accommodations by verifiable organization funds. If you have questions about the lodging tax, please contact the Tax Division at 303-235-2820. The last general tax is the telecommunications occupation tax, which is a tax on local exchange lines or equivalents, which is to say mobile lines if the customer does not have a landline at their service address. The tax is based on an amount set by law that the original telecom company must pay each year, divided by the number of local exchange lines it has in service in Wheat Ridge, then divided by 12. The tax is $2.05 per line in 2013. Most telecoms pass the tax directly to customers, although it is not required that they do so, while the original telecom company uses a complex formula to allocate the tax amongst its customers. The tax is intended to recoup the cost burden of wear and tear on roads and other publicly owned areas caused by telecom infrastructure maintenance. It's discussed here because many residents and businesses aren't aware of it and may not understand why it appears on their telecom bills. All establishments that bear liquor licenses in Wheat Ridge must pay the liquor occupation tax each year. The tax is based on the liquor license category and ranges from $600 to $1,300 a year. The revenue is intended to offset some of the additional costs incurred by the city in conjunction with enforcing the alcohol laws. For new operations, the initial tax is due in full at the time of opening, no matter how late it is in the year, and then again in January. The law doesn't provide for proration of this tax. The tax is due on January 1st with a grace period through the end of the month. On February 1st, the tax becomes delinquent and is subject to a 10% penalty and 1% interest per month or partial month. Unpaid liquor occupation tax becomes a matter for the municipal court and may be considered a demerit in liquor license renewal hearings. General tax returns are due on the 20th day of the month after the end of the filing period. Late returns are subject to a minimum $15 penalty plus 1% interest for each month or partial month that the tax is past due. Remember that general taxes include sales tax, use tax, lodging tax, and admissions tax. Filings may be made on paper, but the city highly recommends using one of the internet filing options accessible through the city website. Liquor occupation tax, as detailed earlier, is due on opening and then by January 31st of each year thereafter. Telecommunications taxes are remitted to the city by telecommunications providers by the 20th of each month. Their customers simply pay the tax on their bills. The lodging and admissions taxes must be filed on a monthly basis. The frequency of filing sales and use taxes is based on the average monthly tax amount. For tax over $100 a month, monthly filing is required. If tax is between $20 and $100 a month, quarterly filing is allowed, and for those with tax of less than $20 a month, yearly filing is okay. A filer is welcome to file more frequently than the law requires. To wrap it up, anyone who does business in Wheat Ridge or is thinking about it needs to know that a business license is required if you have people, property, or a place in the city, or if you collect the city's sales tax. No additional license is needed in regard to the sales or other taxes, but every license holder must file a sales and use tax report. Also, some business types require additional special licenses. There are a variety of resources available for more assistance. The Tax Information Line, 303-235-2820, will usually take you to a live person who can assist you with your questions. If a voicemail message is necessary, you'll receive a return call by the end of the next business day. The website offers a wide selection of detailed information and links that might be helpful with more specific questions. The website also offers paths to online filing, change request portals, and ways to contact staff members directly. Finally, visitors are always welcome in the Tax Division office at City Hall, which is located on the southeast corner of West 29th Avenue and Wadsworth Boulevard at 7500 West 29th Avenue. Office hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, except for holidays. The least busy times to visit are Wednesdays and Thursdays in mid-morning or mid-afternoon during the week before the 20th, but you're welcome anytime. Thanks for watching, and please feel free to get in touch.